The Rush answers. 37 married mother here but had an affair with a man I work with. I am extremely lucky and grateful that my husband wants to work it out. However, I still work with the other man, and given the current economy and my salary and benefits, getting another job is unlikely. Not even sure what I am asking or saying by stating this. Guess I just needed to talk about it. It first started on a business trip. Had been going on roughly 4 months. H suspected something and asked me, and I confessed the truth. We have 2 kids. I have one coworker friend that knows. First off, I accept totally I was wrong, selfish, and am the one that needs to make amends. We are in counseling now, and I see a counselor one-on-one as well now. I did it because I was immature and selfish. My husband was working a lot and we were going through the motions of life. The other man, who is divorced, pursued me, and I found that validating and exciting. Again, I say that knowing how selfish and immature it is. We had slept together on business trips and typically after work or during lunch, usually at his house. Again, I realize I broke the trust and could have ruined our lives, but my husband thinks we can work through and he wants to. So please say what you will about me, I deserve it. But please do not judge and insult my husband's decisions and actions. To be clear, I place zero blame in my husband. This was a decision I made and take on all the responsibility for it. I will say when was confronted and confessed to my husband, I was totally honest. I did not want to continue lying to him and he deserved the truth. So, there is nothing about what I did that he doesn't know. I have been looking for a new job but not found anything similar yet. My AP, he is divorced. At first anger toward him, wanting to blame him. But I realize he did not make me do anything or take advantage. It was my choices. I have not minimized the physical aspect. Have been honest as I can be. Also never say mistake. Always try to say my choices and decisions. As far as work, I offered to quit but our budget does not allow it right now. I have applied for other jobs. He suspected something was going on. He confronted me. I confessed all to him. So not truly caught, but I did not come clean on my own either. 1. Did not write out a timeline, but I would if he wanted me to. We have discussed it chronologically several times. 2. Have not been tested, but that's a good idea that I had not considered. 3/4. AP is not my boss, we don't even work in the same department. But not why would I do any of that? Because I made a terrible choice, he should be destroyed. He may not be a good person, but he did not lie or break any promises. Wouldn't this be deflected my guilt off me and onto him? Plus, what kind of rabbit-boiling psycho goes to someone's parents? 5. How would it be good for my husband to become more involved in any way with my AP? This is like saying to my husband it was not me. The AP did this to us. No, I did this to us. AP, I am not protecting him at all. But destroying him would require me to invest even more time and energy into him and would not do anything for my marriage. I think I have done that enough already. We really are committed. I can undo what I have done, so just focusing on how to get better. I never told my AP I loved him and he never told me that. Wasn't like that. He just said he would back off. Really did not discuss it much beyond that. I avoid him as best as I can. Fortunately, only around him in group settings. We have 2 kids. They are my husband's kids. I will be honest, the bonding was very good and exciting. But no, I never considered leaving my husband. It never had feelings for my AP like that. I was very selfish. It was selfishness on my part. Our marriage was fine, but in a rut of just living and working. The other man was very exciting, and until this my husband had been my only man, so some curiosity too. Have kids 13 and 11. They have an idea, but my husband and I have told them it is not their concern and we love each other. I have admitted to my husband the affair with the other man was exciting and pleasurable. I am still physically attracted to him, but as a person and seeing what I have caused in my husband and what I put at risk has allowed me to disengage from the AP. My husband hasn't changed. He is still amazing. I got bored and instead of talking to him about it, I let things fester and then selfishly had an affair. I am looking for a new job. I agree it just presents unneeded risks to our future to stay there. Right now, we are in the hysterical bonding phase, so hubby and I have been having a lot of bonding. When he or I have thought, we immediately discuss them, even if they come up during bonding. It has often been brutal, but so far it seems to be what we need. Open, honest, immediate communication about everything. 1. My husband shares his feeling at home and in therapy with me several times a day now. 2. He cried early on but not since then. 3. It of course bothers him a great deal that I still work with the man. We discuss it often and I call and text him throughout the workday. 4. We have been intimately every day and are in hysterical bonding now, I believe. 5. He has told his mother and she has been a great supporter of our efforts to work it out. 6. Married 14 years. 7. This is my only affair. 8. I do not care if this takes 10 years. I am committed. Husband keeps asking me about what I did with the other guy. I do not want to seem deceptive by trying to change the subject. At this point I do not know what else I can tell him. He keeps asking the same questions. I never get upset. I try to be calm without being about it. I have asked myself and am trying to work it out. I think the fact I had no other life stresses or history with my AP and my AP's attitude toward bonding led to it. But I am still working on understanding it. He has not contacted me at all and is already seeing someone else. If he stops seeing her, I could see him contacting me again, and I'm trying to be aware and prepared for that. He did seem to really get a thrill out of being with me in my home. So yes, he is not a good person, as I said. I am looking for a new job. My comment: OP does not need to do much of anything beyond whatever it is she has already done, and she can probably stop that too. She does not need to quit her job. She does not need to keep contact with AP to a minimum while she still works with him or in proximity to him. She can probably even resume her affair for a second time. It also makes no difference in her reality if she is remorseful. Her BH is going nowhere because he does not have it within himself currently to hold her to account. Even if he is in some state of shock, she can probably tell when he is about to come out of it, and there is no telling how long he will be in that state anyway, which she will probably fairly easily be able to deal with. Her BH simply has more tolerance than most have or claim they have. He may also figure it is cheaper to keep her and want to keep the family intact for as long as possible. OP is in control and she knows it. If the marriage ends, it will almost surely be because she decided to end it, which she will do, perhaps, when the time is convenient for her. Story 2. My wife and I have been married for over 10 years now. We have 2 kids. Recently, she told me she is considering divorce. She had considered separation a year ago but told me I ignored her, and that it is too late. She is thinking of divorce but will decide next year. I am a bit confused because I do not ever recall having any lengthy discussion on separation. Here are the points she has made clear. 1. I have an anger issue. When I blow up, I get loud, slam doors, and throw things on the ground or in the sink. My anger is intense and it triggers memories of her abusive father. 2. I am too controlling over spending. I admit, the past me, I was frugal and always complained about every detail on spending. Or more recently, become an alarmist that we are going over budget on a budget category. We recently changed budgeting strategies under her suggestion, which is that I give her a fixed amount every month. She will manage the spending for the groceries and shopping needs and gets to keep whatever is left over in the budget. I also took her to a bank to open her own account so that she feels like she has her own bank account and not just our joint accounts. 3. I am too passive. She feels like she is taking care of 3 kids, me being the 3rd kid, and it is exhausting. I do not take any effort to plan vacations, to plan weekend outings, and family activities. This is true, and my problem here is that my only few attempts to do so have led to poorly planned trips in the past. I focus a lot on my career. I need advice here. 4. She feels utter despair when she thinks about the type of person she was before getting married versus the type of person she is now. Before our marriage, she was a cheery, energetic person. She seems drained of energy more and more, and it was especially bad during lockdowns. I also need advice here. 5. She feels I am not supportive of her. Example, when she suggests places to go, she says I do not take the effort to go and she feels unsupported. When she says she wants to spend money on courses for training, I am unsupportive and complain a lot. I think part of this is, in the past, I also provide alternative ideas or tell her we are tight on budget. Need advice here. I am currently seeing a therapist for anger management and found that daily meditation seems to be the most effective. My wife told me she will give me a year before making a final decision on divorce. We still have physical intimacy, but I always must take the initiative to ask. She has thought about divorce for a long time but also said she wants to make the marriage work. She gets emotional and breakdown when she talks about leaving me and says she does not want to lose me as a friend. She did say that we will talk about this next year after 1 year of anger therapy and see if it works out. Real issues that I want to work on my end. I can't justify my behavior but didn't realize my behavior until this late. I wish I could repair the damage done, but it seems late now. Passiveness on my end is due to anxiety to groups and social settings. Someone mentioned it, and that person is right. That coupled with my priorities being put into work and unable to plan until last minute. My wife is a stay-at-home mom. She does not have a job. She did in the past, but her wages are not livable by the area's standard. If she wanted to divorce, I would be afraid for her ability to support herself and would want everything for her to go well. I know a lot of you are telling me to protect myself, but I love my wife. Even if she wanted to divorce me, I would be heartbroken but would understand that it would be the only way for her to live a happier lifestyle. I am also trying to figure out how to encourage her to become more independent, be financially stable so that if she were to decide to divorce, she would not have to go through so much hardship. Perhaps taking the kids to a water park, while booking her into a spa, and then all meeting up for a kid-friendly dinner restaurant, with the kids are worn out, could be something you arrange. I had never thought about giving my wife alone time as part of planning. I think logically and rationally, so I never thought about doing things that did not involve her being part of the fun and let her be solo and recharge the stress from being a mom. My wife jokes that I have problems and unable to relate to human emotions. I do not know if it is true or not, but there is a disconnect for me to understand others' feelings and take those into account in my actions sometimes. I honestly do not know what I will do if I am divorced. Meeting my wife was more or less of a happy, fated accident. This is probably something I need to think about, how to better live my life even if alone. Physical life was okay for the both of us, like 3 to 4 times per month, and has gone up recently like 3 times a week. We are both more physically fit than before. I am not overall an angry person. Most of the time, I am calm and able to hold my cool. The few times I have blown up, last time was 3 years ago, seems to be used as examples every time. But part of the problem is that she is basing her story from all the bad parts of the marriage. I never had rage episodes at work. I almost never get angry, and even if I do, say children pushing my buttons, the most I'll do is yell at them to cut it out and stop. If they continue, then I will take a privilege away, and if they continue, I send them to their room or make them stand in the corner for 2 minutes. The worst is I tell them I will spank their hands if they continue and then spank their hands if they challenge. And yes, I pretty much do all the house chores except laundry and shopping. Part of me wants to say she is a lazy stay-at-home mom, but I know she is burnt out from the kids. They are very needy and drained all her energy. I have been picking up the slack for all the house chores for the past 2 years. All these issues regarding me not supporting her taking classes is not true either. I think my behavior from 10 years ago when we were tight on cash and I told her no at that time must have left a bad taste for a long time. My comment: if she means something to you and the family, work on it. Try counseling for conflict resolution and enhanced communication. Try and find a hobby that lets you blow off steam like working out or something so you can have your own time or include the kids. Divorce is no fun. The budget thing, I have been there. Try and maybe find ways to make more money so you will not be as worried. Place family number one, the career takes the back seat. They say 18 years is all we get with our children. Make them count and build great memories. Something as simple as a family walk through the park on the weekend can be a good thing and requires no money. Some of my best memories were doing these sort of things with the family, not a vacation. Maybe seek assistance with a travel agent for more in-depth vacations. Story 3. Typical story here. Dated my wife for about 2 years, then got married and have been for 14 years. She was amazing and I thought I treated her well. Our physical life before marriage was so amazing. It was so good because I loved her with all my heart and she was in as my soulmate. We have one son and made the mistake of working our schedules, so one of us was always with him. Please do not ever do this, it will kill your marriage. I really feel our physical life took a plunge downward almost right after our wedding. Currently I have not had slept with her in almost 4 years. I admit I was not helpful around the house as I should have been. We both kind of fell into habits when we were at home alone, me video games, her TV, and we kind of kept these up when off together. This did not start at first, just kind of started happening over the years. I would totally beg her for bonding and she would push me away. It got to the point of just trying to kiss her and she would push me away. Last August I started to suspect something was up. She stopped saying she loved me and I let it go for a while, then could not help myself, started snooping around her laptop. Came across an email to a girlfriend of hers where she was going on about how unhappy she was and wanted a divorce. I was devastated as I had no idea how unhappy she was. I mean, I was unhappy too, but not to that point. We also struggled with financial problems and I did not help her during those times. I would spend money and did not care. Yeah, I know I am a piece of trash, I get it. Well, some more snooping and I found a letter she had written but not sent to a guy she dated like a whole bunch of years earlier, telling him how she still loved him and wanted to be with him. I felt like I could just pass out when I read that, like I could not breathe and wanted to throw up. I confronted her with it and she said she wanted a divorce. I admitted I cried like a complete baby. Well, she agreed to work on it and I changed completely. Everything she said she was unhappy with, I changed. Granted, I screwed it up big time and did all the things I should not have. The whole following around like a puppy dog and whatnot. Should mention she is in mid-40s, me 40. She suffers from depression and migraines. I went to counseling like she suggested and changed all I could. Fast forward to earlier this year. She was not putting any effort into anything. I snooped again. I feel like a criminal for this. Found a secret email account and a whole bunch of emails from some guy she met on Craigslist. Very dumb way to meet someone in my opinion. Emails suggested a meeting. I showed up there and confronted them. I played it cool and did not crash a chair over dude's head as I wanted to. I got up the next day and she had the balls to be pissed at me for reading her emails. She said it was only dinner. Like that makes it cool. We are at this point just residing in the same house. I am at work about 3 weeks later. I work nights and get a bad vibe. So, I leave work early and come home to just miss them in bed together. I confront her and she says, yeah, we had slept together. In our bed in my house, like I am nothing, just dirt or trash. Like our life together means nothing. So, I moved out right away. I am now living with her mom. Yeah, that's right, her mom. Her whole entire family have been so awesome to me, it is crazy. It is not that they just support me though. They just think what she is up to is so wrong. I have been coping okay with it, I guess. Some days are a total nightmare, like put a gun to my head and end it all bad. Some days I am so angry I want to X her ex off. Some days I cry for no reason. I mean, I once was a man, tough guy, no emotion, you know, typical grab my crotch and man up kind of guy. Now I feel like I have no balls, crying all the time. Her family has been so great though. As it stands though, she has it all. A guy that gives her physical time all the time. She said so on Facebook, making fun of me behind my back, our house, and whatnot. She did come to me and want me to pay half the second mortgage. I told her she was out of her mind. I now have my own checking account and there are no joint accounts. I know where the guy lives and am trying to gather intel. I will soon have his plate number and will run it to get all info. I have not even talked to her about the marriage in a long time. I am 180ing it right now. The only contact we have is like 1 or 2 a week to exchange clothes for our son. He is split between us equally. Not sure I can live there as I am afraid I will go nuts on him, her, and end up in prison. I work in a branch of law enforcement and will so lose everything if I get locked up. When I do see her, it is like for 1 minute at a time and I barely speak to her. I am going to make sure it is even less from here on out. She tells me to come to our joint house to pick up our son, and then there are times when she says do not come. That's when I know dude is there. One more thing is this is at some point in time I guess going to end in a divorce. She will be keeping the house as even with alimony. She makes quite a bit more than me. I could not afford to live there by myself. I have started back in the gym. Not to brag, but I used to be in awesome shape. I worked hard at it. That is helping me. I am now running again and busting my butt to get back in shape. I just feel kind of like, man, I did not deserve this. I would have never done this to her or any girl I was ever with. The pain is so intense, like nothing I have ever felt before. I have been out of the house since March 3rd. One shining bright spot is I have been paying large amounts on the one credit card I have since I told her I was done paying on the house. Also, if I move back and there is no way I can pay the bills there. I know she is really struggling, as she said so to her mom. I did talk to a lawyer about some of this. Her mom actually paid for me to go. He said yes, stop paying any house bills and do not fight her to keep in a marriage as it is over. Harsh, but I guess he is right. I thought about filing, but I am scared her family will not understand. I am also scared she will throw that in our son's face. He is 11 and he knows this is her decision, not mine. He knows I love her very much and have told him so. I should mention too, we are both religious. I know that should not have anything to do with it. As far as I do not know. Times I do and times I do not. I do not love the person she has become. Maybe I am in love with what I remember of us. I do not know. I do know I deserve someone who loves me, don't I? I do not know, as thing makes me question everything about me. In-laws, most of them have tried talking to her and letting her know it's wrong to do this. I know my son does not know about the other man. We are taking him to counseling each separately, so from that perspective I know she has no plans to end this. I have considered filling. The lawyer told me wait and let her do it, as it will save me about $250. I know she could drag this on forever, and at some point, I will have to make a jump if I want to move on with my life. The lawyer I talked to is way too expensive for me. His retainer is $4,000 and he charges $400 an hour. My friend told me about his lawyer and he charges a bit less, so I may talk to him. I just do not get it though. What kind of person does this to another person? She was supposed to be my best friend. I guess she has no morals, is that right? She always did what her family wanted her to do. From whom she dated to everything. She felt constricted by them. She told her sister the same thing on Facebook one day. Wow, man, you've hit it. She is also used to getting her own way. She is probably the most controlling person I have ever met. As far as an STD, I really haven't even had slept together in almost 4 years, so I guess I could go get tested, but I cannot imagine I would have anything, but who knows. I will schedule an appointment this week. At times I feel like I am going crazy. Yeah, she has made all the problems of our marriage out to seem like it's my fault. For a while it took all the blame upon me. I was racking my brain going over everything she said I did wrong, and I owned up to it to her as well. At times the anger in me wants to come roaring out, and I just know if I hit her in the face as hard as I can feel better. I would never do this, as that's not who I am. I have never laid a hand on her. Like Friday, I get my son's things from her and she says, "Have a nice weekend." Really, she is standing there in a t-shirt that has a certain character on it I do not want to say. Well, the secret email she set up is the name of that same character. So, she is right in my face with this. My comment: you need to fire up an attorney and file, and as part of this filing demand 100% custody, or financial support for you and your son to live in the house, and spousal support. Ask for everything, even if you must negotiate some way, but ask for it. Next, include a clause which prevents her from introducing male friends around your son. Uploading this short video cause I am working on a longer one as you guys are watching this. Hit that bell button and I will be back with another one.